what happens when things don't go well? That can always be the case, but right now, most parents and most kids are more tense than usual. You need to help your teen advocate, but you also need to know when to step in. Schedules, and we touched on this earlier, that are not what your teen needs or wants can be adjusted at times at school. If the school can't meet your teen's schedule, look at online courses that are being offered outside of your private school or school board. The Ministry of Education in Ontario, in British Columbia, in several other Canadian provinces offers online courses, which were there way before COVID. In Ontario, those online courses have come down in price from a number of hundreds of dollars to $40. That's a pretty good deal for an online course. And if your teen missed out last year on part of a course, and many kids did, they completed the work, they got the grades, but they didn't cover the material, you can download that course material for free. They're not looking for a credit through the Ministry of Education in Ontario. That is available for free as reference material. If your school can't meet the needs of your child, there are a number of virtual schools that can support those courses. When you have concerns or complaints, whether they're about bullying or they're about poor teaching or the teacher who is teaching online without turning her camera on or putting pages upside down, which has happened for some of our kids, you need to document your concern. You can't just walk into the school anymore. And your teen can't just stride down to the guidance office. Everything is very prescribed if in fact your child is attending. Writing informative emails, copying everybody involved, including your child if you're writing about them, and they should be copying you if they're writing on their own behalf, and making sure the tone of your email is appropriate is the best way to get a response. There's a wonderful app by Grammarly. Grammarly will help you or your child check your email for tone. Sometimes we have trouble in emails. We sound more frustrated or we sound more polite than we mean to. And that's something I encourage you to try out. It's also wonderful for use when they do get to post-secondary because it allows them to communicate effectively with professors who prefer email communication. The communicating really is, of all the C's, the complaints, the concerns, communication is the key. And keeping an open mind and thinking outside the box is important. Your teen will not be disadvantaged by taking courses outside their school. They often will have the flexibility to do that course over many months rather than in 4 or 6 or 8 weeks. And it can relieve their timetable choke. It can also provide extra resources that can be saved for future reference. Communicating with the teachers is the only way to convey dissatisfaction, but sometimes you have to go over and above the teacher's head, but in a way that is polite and assertive and also still includes the teacher and your child. The last issue is grades. Grades are extremely important, but they're also not as easy to follow these days when tests or exams are either being reduced or disappear. There are already changes being made to graduation requirements in most provinces across the country. As there are in the States, there are changes in the number of volunteer hours that are required. Those have been reduced, although we're going to talk about many ways that your teen can actually do virtual volunteering and enjoy it. Lots of things are happening that are different. Decide what's important with your teen. Focus on those things. What isn't important, let go, because you can't chase everything. And nor can your teen. It just adds to their stress. Overall, a teen who covers high interest courses, as well as make sure they have their prerequisites, is going to be in good shape for university or college. This is not going to be a year where people are particularly picky, whether they will go to post-secondary online or in person. We're still figuring that out. But it is certainly likely that this year's 12s and perhaps this year's 11s will be doing some, if not all, of their first year online or in different circumstances. And that's just a reality we're going to have to get used to.